The first time they called her weak, she didn't respond. She stood there, hands trembling, eyes fixed on the ground, feeling the heat of humiliation crawl up her neck. But what no one knew, what even she didn't fully realize, was that those words were the spark that would ignite a fire powerful enough to shock an entire Marine training base. It all started during week 3 of basic training. Emily Carter wasn't like the others. She was smaller, quieter, and the only woman in her platoon. While the men boasted about their high school football championships and wrestling trophies, Emily kept to herself, carrying an old, battered notebook where she scribbled quotes from her late father, a retired Marine who never got to see her enlist. Her father had always told her, "Strength isn't about size, Emily, it's about refusing to quit when everyone else does." But the recruits didn't see her heart. They saw her struggling on the obstacle course, gasping during sprints, or taking an extra second to lift the heavy pack. And they mocked her for it. One day, during a grueling drill, Sergeant Peterson barked orders while the men snickered in the background. A voice rang out, one of the recruits, tall and broad-shouldered, smirking as he said, "Careful, Carter. Don't hurt yourself. We wouldn't want the weak link slowing us down." Laughter erupted around her. Emily swallowed the burn in her throat. She wanted to yell, to defend herself, but her father's words echoed in her mind. So she didn't say anything. Not yet. That night, while the others relaxed in the barracks, Emily stayed in the training yard. She ran laps until her legs ached, pushed herself through push-ups until her arms trembled, and practiced combat drills with a ferocity she didn't know she had. For weeks, she trained in silence, every insult fueling her determination. And while the men saw her as invisible, she was slowly becoming something they could never anticipate. The breaking point came during a close combat training session, a day when recruits were paired off for simulated hand-to-hand fights. The instructor, a stern gunnery sergeant, made a point to put Emily against one of the toughest recruits, Private Harris, a former amateur boxer who towered over her. The men grinned, some even whispering bets on how fast she would be taken down. "Ready," the sergeant barked. Harris lunged first, confident and reckless. Emily sidestepped, remembering her father's advice, "Let them burn out their strength, you stay sharp." She countered with a swift elbow to Harris's ribs. He grunted but came back harder. This time, she ducked and landed a clean hook to his jaw. The crowd's laughter faded to stunned silence. Within seconds, Harris was on the ground, wind knocked out of him. But it didn't stop there. The next opponent stepped in, then another, and another. Emily's speed, precision, and sheer refusal to back down shocked everyone. One by one, she dropped them, 5 in total, including the loudest one who had mocked her weeks ago. Each takedown was sharper than the last, her movements fueled not by rage but by months of relentless work in the shadows. When the final Marine hit the mat, the yard fell silent except for the sound of Emily's steady breathing. The gunnery sergeant broke the quiet, a small smirk tugging at his lips. "Not so weak now, huh?" From that day on, no one dared to underestimate Emily Carter. She didn't need to brag or gloat, her actions had spoken louder than anything she could have said. The men who once laughed at her now respected her, not because she beat them, but because she had earned it through grit, discipline, and an unshakable will. Months later, when Emily graduated from basic training, she stood at attention during the ceremony, the sun warming her face. In the crowd, she imagined her father watching, proud and smiling. She had proven, to herself more than anyone, that strength wasn't about being the loudest or the biggest. It was about never letting the world's doubts define who you are. And if anyone, anywhere, ever dared to call her weak again, well, they already knew how that story would end. If you want, I can now break this story into separate prompts per paragraph so you can reuse them for YouTube storytelling scripts. That way, each part can be generated as its own engaging narration. Would you like me to prepare that next?